We have here the brand new Winspace SLC 5 in a size large, weighing at 7.37 kilograms. And in pounds, 16 pounds, 6 ounces. That is without front mount, 2 bottle cages, power meter, and dual-sided pedals. Stay tuned to after the video where you see a free buy sound test on those Loon Hyper 5s right there. Hey, how's it going, everyone? GC Performance here, back with another video. And today for you guys, I have the Winspace SLC 5. This is their latest iteration in the SLC lineup. And this 5 is now their all-around do-it-all bike, whereas the SLC lineup before was their climbing bike. So this is going directly after, I think, the Tarmac SL8, the Trek Mondas, basically the do-it-all bicycles. And by far, this is kind of like my ride review. I've had this bike now for about a month and a half, maybe 2 months, I don't know exactly. I got a couple rides on this thing, and it is night and day difference between the old SLC models and this model, and even from their previous Winspace T1550s. That whole carbon fiber layup, this is a brand new carbon fiber layup for this year. It's built up with a Kevlar carbon fiber, a T1100, a T800, I believe, a bunch of different carbon fibers in there. And you can really feel the difference. No lie, it feels like a complete different bicycle. It feels like it's from a Western brand. You close your eyes on this bike and it has an enjoyable experience. But that is with a huge price increase as well. Whereas the old frames used to be $1,600 to $1,700, this frame set now is $2,800 by itself. That is just frame and seat posts. No handlebar. That is extra as well. But today's video, I'll talk about my experiences with this bike and then also how I built up this bike, because aesthetically, I think Winspace hit the nail on the head too with this paint job. This paint job is limited edition. There's only 100 made of it. It's called Jungle, and I got number 2 out of 100, if you can see right there, which is really cool. But it is such a cool paint job, and the finishes of it as well. I mean, really good quality. And it even came with the titanium bolts for here, even on a derailleur hanger. And that's where I've always said that these China companies have always kind of lacked on. The frames are always decent, the frames are always good, but on the finishing quality parts, like the hangers, the bolts, the seat post areas, they always kind of put on these large, chunky pieces of materials, and Winspace stepped up 100%. The titanium bolts is a nice fixture. This seat post is really nice as well. Even the clamp style system, this is very similar to other bicycles I've worked on in the past. So a very nice setup on here, and that all attributes to the lightweight of the bicycle. Even the finishing for where the seat post goes into is much, much nicer as well. But yes, I am very, very happy with how this bicycle turned out. I chose to build up with the SRAM Force 1x and the XPLR version, so it's a 1x13 speed. As everyone knows, I love a 1x bicycle. I think it's the future of bicycling, and I hope to see a SRAM Red road group set, not a gravel group set, but a road group set in the future, and a 1x13 setup. Right now I have a 50 tooth on here, but this is with a cork power meter. So I want to go to a 52 tooth, but the 52 tooth chainring only comes in power meter, and I don't want to be redundant, so it's fine. I'm running these gears right now here in the middle, and it's working no issues at all with the UDH hanger on there. So I think they did a phenomenal job. But, so we've always talked about these Chinese frames that are available, that they're available for half the price, a fraction of the cost of what the big brand names are out there. And it's true. Those bicycles all get the job done. They all perform really well. But there is a difference between those frames and the top end frames when you're talking about overall quality and overall finishes of the bike. Not just the finishes like the paint job, not just like the finishes of the hardware, but the ride quality. Yes, those bicycles can compete with whatever you want to do with it. Yes, those bicycles can have you start into whatever kind of group ride you want. Yes, those bicycle frames and cheap frames can get you into the sport. This is all true. And even me and Patrick Lino have talked about this in the past. A lot of those bicycles will do 90% of what these bicycles, the Western brand bicycles, will want to do. But the real difference is that elite rider, those enthusiast riders, the people who have been doing this for a very long time, the people who enjoy the sport and look for that fine tune of the compliancy, the comfortability, the responsiveness. And that's where a lot of that extra money comes into. It's very easy to make a carbon fiber frame and just sell it as a road bicycle. But the engineering, the research and development to make it an enjoyable ride, a ride that puts a smile on your face, that's where those extra bucks have come into play. And that's why I think that these frames like the SLC 5, also the T1600, And also we see it with the new Quick Pros. Those are $2,000 frames as well. They're not the $1,500, the $1,300 frames anymore. You're starting to see these companies really push the boundaries, push the price points, and that's where you get that enjoyable feeling. This bicycle feels absolutely solid. It feels really planted when riding on the tarmac. It feels really, really good. It feels crazy responsive when you're just riding and pedaling the saddle. If there are times where I'm riding in a group ride and I feel like my legs are getting heavy, because I'm no pro by any means, but if I feel like my legs are getting heavy, all I have to do is put it into a nice high cadence gear and just keep on turning my legs, and because it's flat here, I can hold the wheel much easier and I feel the bike responding to those, whereas other bikes I might feel are a little bit more draggy. They don't respond as well. Maybe they feel a little sluggish. This bicycle does have that get up and go feeling. Also, the vertical compliance. The bicycle is super comfortable for what it is. And I think this is also attuned to the new bicycles being accustomed to like the wider tires and being able to take up to a wider tire. I'm rocking 700 by 30C tires on here, so it is making it much more comfortable. I think a lot of these bicycles you get a nice comfy frame or feeling on, because even at 70 PSI, it's night and day from what we used to be riding at 120 PSI, like on a Tarmac SL6. So yes, these bicycles do feel really compliant, but the overall like feeling of being on the bike saddle for long rides, for like a 60-mile ride or a 100-kilometer ride, it's much more manageable than on just a cheaper carbon fiber frame. So I will say that. But in the general question, do these bikes compete with the big name brands? 100%. And same thing for the cheaper frames that you guys are always asking about, the Tans, the whatever frames. I never had those frames, but I had a VeloBuild frame that was $500. And again, I could ride any group ride I wanted to at my same level and complete it. I could do all those little same things that I wanted to with the bike and complete it. But the enjoyable experiences, those little marginal differences you feel, like maybe the aerodynamics, maybe the wind tunnel testing, maybe the carbon fiber lathe they're using, the stiffness of the bike, that's where that extra money, I think, being well spent is really where you see the bicycle shine and show the difference. So kudos to Winspace for really changing this whole model identity from the SLC to a do-it-all bicycle. I think it's fantastic. They have a nice big speed sniffer on the front there. You can see how the spacers kind of portray out, and you can see how how pointy this aerodynamic point is. It's a very sharp front end. And even with their new handlebar, this is the first year of their change to the handlebar. This is their Hyper handlebar. I believe it's a $400 or a $600 handlebar, but even this, the aesthetics of it, really good looking. The overall design of it, you have this nice kind of tactile feeling for grip on here. If you don't want to ride with gloves, you have a nice grippy feeling. You have a nice point here as well, and then this is very sharp, like a jet inspired. And then even the flare on the handlebars, they have a nice little flare here as well to the handlebar. So overall, the design looks really nice. I think they came out with a proprietary out front mount as well with it to match perfectly, and also the top cap. So I think they did a really good job. And then they have these little stoppers that are on here. I don't like the look of them. It's kind of crappy, but it's necessary, because if you don't, they will damage your frame. So that's I'm kind of putting that in place to go ahead and do that. We're not making those kind of sharp turns, but if you leave your bike out or it's windy out, yes, you will see it. And also, it's so freaking windy right now that my bike fell over while I was taking the thumbnail picture. I scratched my damn shifter for you guys. So you guys owe me a shifter in the comment section. If you guys could, just go right now, get your parents' credit card number and put it into the comment section chat. All 16 numbers. I need the expiration and the CVC number, and probably a zip code as well. I would appreciate it. And thank you guys so much for that. Now let's talk about my build on this SLC5. The colorways, I love the colors they're putting out. They have a plethora of colors. It's not just one color for the bicycle frame. I love that. They have the jungle. They have this kind of blue-purple color. They have a white color. They have a black color. They have a bunch of different limited edition colors on there, so I am liking that as well. And I think that's really cool. It puts a little bit of exclusivity to your bicycle frame. For the handlebar in here, I went with a 110 by 40 handlebar with the custom out front mount, and also a lights mount on the bottom here as well. This is the Berg handlebar tape that we wrapped with the no tape on there as well. I think it gives a nice little aesthetic touch. And also for the bar and plugs, We got the massive MMG GC Performance marginal gains here, because we're always looking for massive marginal gains, okay? We want every single huge marginal gain we can get there. Carbon fiber shifter blades on this SRAM Force group on the E1. We have the one finger braking system and also the boner buttons up top here that you can shift. And I found myself really enjoying these new boner buttons. They are a blast to use. I find myself just literally one fingering the brake and then using my thumb here. I never have to rearrange my hand to go ahead and shift up and down. It is a nice change. You can also add these to your hammerhead if you want to change pages, if that's something you want to do. For the frame on here, we have the Winspace Loon Hyper 5 wheels. These are the newest generation of the Hyper wheel set on here in a 50mm depth. Carbon fiber spoke, ceramic bearing inside of there, and then also I believe a 23.5mm internal rim width and a 31.5mm external rim width at like a 1280 or like a 1300 weights for the wheels, so they've been great as well. I think it's a combination of the wheels and the bike that has given this bicycle such a great feeling on there. Going on over to the disc brake side, we have a 160mm SRAM Force with the SRAM Force disc brake caliper on there. And then we have our through axle right there as well. And if you look at the front, we have hidden through axle holes on the front end side, which I do like. Those little touches, which is super nice. You can fit up to a 700/32C tire on here. This is a 700/30C tire pumped up to 70 PSI. In the Polymer Workshop collaboration, Panaracer Agilis, shout out to Mr. Chris Miller. He loves these tires. I was actually on a phone call with Chris Miller for the longest time, and we were talking about tires, and he was advocating so hard for these Panaracer Agilis tires. And I was like, Chris, what about the GP 5000s, mate? I thought you loved them. He's like, nah, Grant. You're wrong. That's all cheeky and fine, but the Panaracer Agilis are where it's at. So shout out to Chris Miller. He loves those tires. Going down to the Winspace logo, again, a nice logo, and the color I think is phenomenal. I got S-Work bottle cages on here with the titanium bolts. We have the size large, the SLC fiber there. It is a threaded BSA bottom bracket, so they're sticking with the BSA, kind of keeping it lightweight for this point. The T1600 comes with a T47. So a BSA bottom bracket with just a stock SRAM Dub BB on here. We have the SRAM Force new cranks in a 165mm configuration, thanks to Mr. Tade Pagacha, and a wide spindle as well to work with his group set, so I have a spacer on this side. We have our power meter up here, and then our Look ceramic pedals. We have ceramic bearings inside these Keel Blade version 4s right there. Going over to the other side, UCI legal. This is SRAM Force disc brake, SRAM Force crank arm, SRAM chainring 50-tooth arrow, and then we have that purple chain, which I think matches this paint job beautifully, and also the titanium bolts. We got our limited edition sticker, the 2 out of 100. I want that number 1. Never in my life in this bicycle industry, I've been working in the bicycle industry for 15 years, have I gotten a number 1 on a bicycle. I wanted a number 1. So we'll see if I can get that. But look at that paint, dude. That is beautiful paint. And this frame weighed pretty lightweight for this custom paint. You gotta think this paint definitely adds weight to here. So beautiful paint job though on this thing. It is literally a showstopper. For the rear on the cassette, this is the SRAM Force XPLR group set with the UDH attached to the rear frame. So this frame is UDH compatible. 13 gears in the back, a 1046 tooth cassette, which is really stupid because I don't need to run it at all. But you guys can see I went into this gear range before, probably to climb up a bridge, but I find myself riding in these gears the most of the time. We have our battery right here, and yes, it's pretty cool. Same wheel as the front, the Loon Hyper 50 depth, 700/30 Agilis fast TLR. I usually ride tube tires, but these are nice. And these tires are nice. I got these tires sent out to me for free. That's why I'm rocking them. But they are a very smooth tread. I think they're decent. I like them a lot, but if I had to buy my own tire, I would probably choose the GP 5000, just to be honest with you guys. 160mm rotor in the rear, SRAM Force disc brake caliper back here, through axle back here, and again, a 700/32C tire can fit on here. Here's the tire clearance for the rear stay, and also the chain stay down there. We got a little bit more room on there. Very nice, cohesive looking finish for the seat post to the frame. This is where the finishes come in really, really good looking. You have your 4mm C-post wedge inside of here. And then up top here, we have our Bjorn saddle, carbon fiber rails, carbon fiber body, 3D printed. And like I said, the finishing for the C-post, very nice. This is where you save some of that weight on the frame. But anyways, guys, this is my video of the Winspace SLC 5. Sorry I don't put any riding video of me riding the bicycle. I work in a bike shop. I do YouTube about biking. When I go out on the bike rides, I just want to enjoy it. I don't really want to make content and film. I like to go out, hammer with some friends, zone 2 with some friends, talk, clear my mind, and that's it. So I'm sorry for the lack of riding videos, but when I do get the ability to ride my bicycle, I really do just want to enjoy it. So I don't have a camera out filming everyone. So anyways, guys, that's going to do it for this video. Stay tuned for the Loon Hyper wheels, and also use code GCPerformance10 for a 10% discount off the frame and the wheel set. Anyways, guys, I'll see you guys in the next video. All right, here comes the free buy sound test on these Loon Hyper 5s. All right, guys, that's going to do it for this video. Thank you again so much for watching. I'll see you guys in the next one. Look how smooth that wheel is. Very balanced.